Isn't it sort of just going through the motions?
Well, actually,
Before we go to Supreme Court for this profiling slash.
yeah, actually, they kind of disappointed in the course of action that's been going on here at City Hall, because we had already won a permit for BAC, and because of
They overturned it.
a appeal made by the supervisor, Carmen Chu, of that district, we have been denied several times the same permit that was just granted a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
A waste of our money, our taxpayers' money, as well as a waste of resources that could be better used for our city.
And misinforming and polarizing the Asian community against us.
Yes.
Which is very unfair.
Very unfair for both parties. I really feel that the Asian community have been misled and really lied to.
Property at 2139 Terraville Street. We received a letter from Derek St. Pierre, attorney for Greg Shep, permit holder, requesting a hearing of appeal number 10-105 and 10-106. On November 17, 2010, the board voted 4-0-1 to revoke the subject permit, and on February 9, 2011, the board voted 5-0 to adopt findings with amendment. Appellants of Canaan Tutoring Service Center and Chinese Gospel Church. The project is a new medical cannabis dispensary in a former chiropractor's office with minor interior alterations under BPA number 2009-1203-2572. We can start with the requester or his attorney, Mr. St. Pierre. Mr. St. Pierre, you'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Derek St. Pierre on behalf of Bay Area Compassionate Health Centers. First of all, thank you for your time and consideration. The issue I want to address is about safe and equal access to medicine for the 60,000 residents of the Sunset District. Since the original hearing in November on this matter and the subsequent adoption of findings in February, the facts on which the Board of Appeals based their decision have changed. The primary factual change was the deletion of any reference to the letter from SFPD Captain Schmidt. This letter was previously used as evidence that the medical cannabis dispensaries are particularly attractive to criminals and cause an increase in crimes of violence in their vicinity. This letter was also the basis for the Board of Appeals concluding, quote, in this case, the safety risks associated with NCDs pose a unique threat because of a large number of children who frequent the businesses, programs, and services in the immediate vicinity of the property. During the adoption of the findings, the Board struck all references to Captain Schmidt's letter, then subsequently issued your decision. Well, where does that leave us? Although testimony was offered by members of the community that expressed concern regarding their children, there was absolutely no evidence offered on several issues. And that's what I come here to address, the actual absence of evidence on a host of issues. There's no evidence regarding the safety risks associated with medical cannabis dispensaries. There's no evidence regarding any existing problems with this proposed operator. There's no evidence regarding existing problems with medical cannabis dispensaries operating in a commercial corridor. And finally, there is no evidence regarding what makes the terrible commercial corridor so unique as to prevent the safe operation of a medical cannabis dispensary. The safety issues and need for protection of children raised regarding my client are no different than a host of other businesses already operating in the city. Bars, convenience stores, pharmacies, banks, and even ATMs all dispense items which may be potentially attractive to criminals. The first 3, bars, convenience stores, and pharmacies, also distribute items which may appeal to the vulnerable children in the area. Despite this fact, these businesses are located in every neighborhood of this great city. And in fact, these businesses also tend to appear on commercial corridors to facilitate access to them. As has been noted by the Supreme Court of the United States, the private biases of individuals may be outside the reach of the law, but the law cannot be used to give those biases effect. By not granting a rehearing on this matter, you are essentially upholding the unfounded fears of the neighbors and enforcing their bias against the rights of the local residents who need access to their medicine. respectfully request a rehearing to allow the Board of Appeals to reevaluate the evidence without the shadow of the fear cast by the letters that was previously part of this from SF Police Department captain. Thank you very much.
Hi, Ross Moody, agent for Cannon Tutoring. I would just initially note that the letter was not stricken from the record. There was a deletion of one paragraph in the findings, but the letter from the captain remains in the record and can be used by the board to justify its decision. The argument that's often advanced that there are lots of things that are dangerous to children, like bars and other operations, is an interesting one, but the fact is that the policy of this city is that you won't open a cannabis dispensary within a certain number of feet of services, of businesses that provide services to children. So that's present here. It's not present for a liquor store or a bar. So that's one difference. What we're here to decide is whether there has been a change sufficient to justify reconsideration, and I don't think there has been one. These arguments were advanced before, and they were carefully considered by the board and rejected. So on that basis, I will submit on my short paper. Thank you.
Address the planning department and staff. Well, the planning department strongly supports the planning commission's approval of this medical cannabis dispensary and finds that it is an appropriate use and would not have a negative impact on the community. Unfortunately, the department did not find any evidence in the rehearing request that would support, under the board's rules, granting the rehearing request. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Could I see a show of hands how many people are interested in speaking under this item?
There's lots of people in the overflow room.
Vice Chairman Garcia? How much time would you like to-
1 minute, but if I may, Madam Director, I'm going to plead with you. This is not about whether or not marijuana will be legal. This is not about whether or not it's good for that neighborhood to have this particular dispensary there. This hearing tonight is about one issue and one issue only. Well, I'm going to say it anyway, if you don't mind. Has something new been presented that would cause us to grant a rehearing? Anything else, you're free to say, but we would please ask you to respect the fact that we have a long meeting tonight. Thank you.
So we will start with public comment.
We have laws to repeal a permit should that permit holder become a problem, and the state law is actually 600 feet from a child care facility and et cetera. So I really believe that this body needs to look at the entirety of the facts and understand that the law would also be changed by the next meeting.
So the new legislation hasn't been drafted, or is it just a concept?
No, it's been drafted and it will be introduced next week. It was not introduced before this hearing because Supervisor Campos was in Washington, D.C. with Feinstein and Pelosi discussing obviously more pressing matters.
Okay, thank you.
I was so pleasantly surprised with this morning's newspaper that the Board of Supervisors completely versed themselves on something as simple as the restaurant restrictions. And when I was reading this article, I thought, if you only just inserted medical cannabis dispensaries on this item when it said the report found that just prohibition often created a stagnant restaurant scene, with three remaining restaurants not catering to the needs of the community.
Representing the disabled, the elderly, and the people of the Sunset, for whom having a dispensary all the way into the city for disabled people and elderly people who particularly have a hard time using the transit systems, it seems like it's an awful hardship for them, and that having a center closer to where they live would be much better for them. You know, some of the centers that I know, they have aides that go out and take the patients to their car, take them to the bus station, and make sure they're safe. Having delivery services works as well, but see, these centers don't just operate as dispensaries. They operate as community centers, where the disabled and the elderly and the homeless have a place to go and commune with other people that are like them and suffering from the same illnesses.
Good afternoon, Warren. My name is Gregory Ledbetter,
and I'm a patient advocate speaking on behalf of medical cannabis patients of the Sunset. I'm here to request that you review all of the facts and rehear this case. Bad communication has resulted in fear and misunderstood policies. The legislative fix that is proposed by the supervisors was postponed only due to an emergency in weather conditions, but will be introduced at their next meeting. Supervisor Carmen Chu has used this issue as a way to advance her political career at the expense of city taxpayers and the rights of medical cannabis patients. So please, consider your decision carefully. Please review the facts from all agencies involved.
I want to represent people living in the Sunset District. I'm really shocked about the police commission hearing. I was there. It was pretty shocking that the chief of police didn't know about the letter. There was definitely some strange things going on about this letter and Carmen Chu and some of the things that went on behind the scenes and in the neighborhoods and within the churches and the community centers to rise up against the cannabis people who need their medicine. We need to support people in having medicine. It's only fair to the disabled people in this community. It is a sanctuary city. This will be a civil rights issue. There was also something I heard in the news how you can't really prejudice and do these kind of tactics and keep different businesses out.
Burns of the Medical Cannabis Task Force. I just want to say that a typographical error almost kept this from being brought before the board for the letter F instead of being where it was supposed to be, and I just think we should review it again. And I think that the Sunset needs a medical dispensary. There are enough patients out there that it qualifies for it, and it should be reheard again. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Michael Goldman. I would like to know whether disabled patients that depend upon medical cannabis are welcome to live in the Sunset District, or whether that can be redlined because of religious bigotry and because of a tissue of lies on a document that's submitted by the police department that you previously excluded from your evidence here. So I think we really need to reconsider this and really need to consider about the civil rights of the people of San Francisco and not exclude people from living in certain neighborhoods. Thank you.
When people stop doing that through the suffering and persecution of the local community?
Yes, my name is Jeffrey Dupuy, and I'm a disabled vet. I'm speaking up for all the patients that do have trouble moving around because I do have back injuries. I have taken bus rides in long periods of time and end up in a wheelchair the next day because of the jump, the bouncing around and stuff. And I think just as any kind of pharmacy that had taken dispense medication, I think that marijuana clubs are even safer than most of them due to the fact that a lot of times they have security guards out front, which is operating police officers that are watching the front door, where they can keep from any trouble happening. And I think this should be taken into consideration on this matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.